Welcome back to UC Irvine and our Saints training camp report alongside Hall of Fame running back Deuce McAllister. I'm Erin Summers. Things are underway. You can see right behind us, they're getting into some individual drills. Deuce, what are some of the storylines, position groups that you're watching as camp gets underway?
Yeah, I think it's important probably to look at the overall how good this unit comes together, whether you're talking offensive line, defensive line. I know you guys talked about it earlier, but they've got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback and then protecting the quarterback. Doesn't matter what type of skill positions or players that you have available if you can't protect the quarterback. And so to see how they come along, and then you have one spot opposite of Matthew as far as the safety position, can Howden take that next step at that position, or Jonathan Abrams, can he completely take over? We know he's played well at times with the Raiders, and he did well last year with the Saints, and so a new linebacker as well. You've been able to add some speed to that position, and so does that speed translate to more reps for the Saints as far as actual sacks? And so things like that you want to be able to see. And then obviously what happens with the depth behind Alvin Kamara, is Alvin really involved completely this season? We know with the contract situation that emerged. He's here, he's practicing. Do they get a deal done? And then the third and fourth receiver for this unit, how involved can one of those guys step up? So a lot on the table for this team over the next month to kind of develop before they go into their first game.
You mentioned Alvin Kamara, the former running back. Under this new offense with Clint Kubiak, how do you see somebody like Kamara with his versatility being utilized?
Well, it's one that you're going to get a ton of motion. You're going to get a ton of shifts. And so it's not foreign to the guys as some of the things that they'll do. A lot of it will be married off of pass concepts as well. And so you will see a pass concept with the same shift, with the same motion. It's probably will be a little bit more heavy zone concept. That's what they've done in the past as far as Kubiak, as far as offense. And so the Saints have done that as well. And so the emphasis will be a lot more offensive line wise. You're going to get zone schemes. You're going to get some stretch packages and different things like that, and that's one cut and go. And so for Alvin, it fits what he likes to do. But at the end of the day, you've got to go out there and execute.
Somebody that we have to talk about in terms of versatility is Taysom Hill. We don't even know what to call him these days. We saw him all over the field in OTAs. How do you see his role changing this season?
Well, he's a football player. That's what we're going to go with. He's a football player. I don't know if his role really changes. I think, you just got to get him involved. I think that you have to be mindful as well as the amount of touches that you give him. He will line up all over the football field. I expect him to line up at quarterback some as well. I expect him at the tight end. He'll line up at the single tailback. He'll line up at fullback, and so he'll be an H for you as well. So for him, he's going to have to grasp the offense really well to be able to know where he's at, what position he's in, my depth, my responsibility, different things of that nature. But he's a football player.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how he is used in this new offense, maybe even in the return game, because that's something that's going to be different as well. Deuce, really appreciate you taking the time. We will definitely track you down throughout training camp for more insight. We'll be back with more from the Saints training camp report coming up after this.